My name is Kmauri Randle, and this is the story about the time I broke my first bone. Okay, so when I was younger, I used to play with all the boys in the neighborhood. There were only boys around me, and I was in an all-male neighborhood, and all my close family members, they were male. And so the only other female was my mom. And so I would do everything that the boys wanted to do. I would wrestle with them, and I'd play sports, and I'd watch sports, and we'd be really rude and mean to each other and hit each other all the time. And so I remember this one day when I was about 12 years old, I went outside to go play with my brother and the older kids. My brother, he was 2 years older than me, and so he was playing with all the 15 and 16-year-old kids. And so I wanted to play too. And so I was begging them for about 15 minutes because they said I couldn't play because I was too young and I was too small and I was a girl and I should do things that the girls wanted to do. And so I begged them for about 15 minutes before they finally said, "You can come play with us, I dare you to." And so me being the happy-go-lucky kid I was, I ran inside and put my tennis shoes on, and I ran back outside, and I was like, "Okay, I'm ready, let's go." And so the oldest kid, let's call him DJ, he kept throwing passes to me throughout the whole game, and I was being so happy because I actually got some playing time. And so this one time, he threw a pass to me, and the biggest kid, he came and tackled me, and he landed on my shoulder. And I immediately felt a raging pain throughout my shoulder, and I was laying on the ground crying. And so everyone was like, "Stop being a baby, there's nothing wrong with you, come on and get on up, and stop being hypocritical." And I was like, "Okay, I'm in a lot of pain right now, I can't get up." And so about 5 minutes later, my brother came and picked me up from off the ground and put me in my room, and he said, "You know what, since you're being such a baby, just stay in here, don't come outside until Mom comes home." And so I stayed in the house until my mom came home, which was about 4 hours later. And so my mom came home and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" Because she saw me crying and I couldn't lay down and get back up. I was just sitting on the couch, just waiting for my mom. And she said, "What's wrong with you?" And I told her that this kid had fell on me. And so she was like, "If there's nothing wrong with you, you'll be okay." And I was like, and I told her, I was like, "Mom, like it really hurts. I can't move my arm." And she was like, "You know what, if I take you to the hospital and there's nothing wrong with you, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you in front of these people." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't really care because I knew I was hurting and there was nothing that they could tell me to say I wasn't hurting. Mm-hmm. And so they took me to the hospital and I was sitting in the waiting room for about an hour before they actually brought me in there. And so when I got in there, I went through 45 minutes of x-rays and me just sitting in the not in the waiting room, in the room. And so the doctor came in finally, and he said, "Your daughter has a hairline fracture on her collarbone," and it went all the way through. And so I looked at my mom and laughed because I knew there was something wrong with me, and she didn't believe me. And so they put me in a sling, and they gave me some pain medication. And when we got home, my mom apologized for being so rude and saying that I should have believed you, even though I was a little bit of a contract and I was younger. And so that is the story of how I broke my first bone.